Welcome to the Wife Stories YouTube channel. New video every day, and don't forget to subscribe. Here we go.
I noticed the check before anything else. It's lying there on the table in my hallway, half crumpled, with the name of some boutique hotel I've never been to. Dated yesterday. Even the stamp of the city is mocking me. Manhattan. My city. My turf. My home. But not my hotel. I'm standing in silence, just staring at that piece of paper. The cost is higher than you'd expect for a casual lunch or a business meeting. Executive suite, it says. 1 night. 2 people. My throat locks up, and I can't swallow. There's a faint smell of expensive perfume in the air, hers, and my pulse starts pounding in my ears. I take a step. And there, across the living room, I see her red dress. On the floor, inside out, like it was peeled off in a hurry. Beside it is a thin black bra, the lace torn at one strap. It's obscene how casually they lie there, as if no one even bothered to hide the evidence. That stings more than anything else. The carelessness. It says, "We don't fear you. We don't respect you. We don't even think of you." I pick up the bra. Let it drop between my fingers. My voice is stuck in my chest, so I can't shout. I want to. God, I want to. But I can't. The anger coils in my stomach, dense and suffocating. I breathe in, then out. Then I move on, pushing further into the apartment. The corridor to our bedroom is open. The bed, our bed, looks still made, ironically. She didn't even use our sheets for her affair. Apparently they preferred a hotel. Probably easier that way. No complications, no suspicious stains. My jaw tightens so hard I worry I'll crack a tooth. I need proof. Something that isn't just a receipt. So I open the closet. Her clothes are mostly gone. Jackets, blouses, half the dresses. She took them with her, and that's new. I haven't checked this closet in weeks. Maybe months. I thought she'd just done a little spring cleaning. But now I see empty hangers. She's not planning to come back soon, it seems. I hear footsteps outside. I lean back against the closet, controlling my breath. The door to the apartment creaks. At first I think it might be her, returning unexpectedly. But it's only our neighbor from across the hall. He stands on the landing, glancing at me, letting out a scoff. "You're that guy who pays the rent, right? While she's out there with someone else." I want to break his face. Instead, I say nothing. My fists clench, but I step back inside and shut my door. The hallway is dark. I flick the switch. The overhead light is too bright, making everything look cold and sharp-edged. I walk to the kitchen, feeling as though my body is floating behind my anger, and see 2 wine glasses on the counter. One with smudged lipstick, one with the faint ring from my lips. We must have drunk together days ago, maybe a week. Some final attempt at normalcy. Now the glasses stand like an accusation. I step over to the sink and just stare at them. The pungent smell of sour wine hits me. I pick up the glass with the lipstick, swirl the leftover wine. For a moment, a stupid moment, I wonder if it was her idea to leave the glasses as some sort of silent confession. Or maybe she just forgot to clean up. Maybe she just didn't care. I set the glass down and head to the bathroom, flicking on the light. My reflection in the mirror is a stranger. Eyes too wide, cheeks pale, maybe a bit hollow. My jaws clenched so hard I see the muscles in my neck straining. I open the cabinet. Inside, on the top shelf, is an old cardboard box. It holds the photo strips from an old camera. Our travels, our wedding, the day our son took his first steps in a city park. I pull out the film, edges curling slightly with age. Each strip shows some memory. Us kissing on a beach in Florida, me lifting her on my shoulders, beaming with pride. Her eyes all bright and full of laughter. My throat tightens again, and the anger flares from my gut to my heart. I don't scream. I don't weep. I just take the scissors from the drawer and slice each frame in half. Perfect halves, right down the middle, separating me on one side and her on the other. Each happy moment, severed like we are now. Every snip hits me like a tiny bullet, but I keep going until the entire box is in tatters. It's too quiet. My head is pounding, and suddenly, I can't stand to be inside these walls. I need air. I need out. So I grab my jacket and walk out the door. The neighbor's still there, leaning on the railing with a cigarette. He blows smoke in my direction. "She's gone, buddy," he says. "Why don't you just—" I push past him, not in the mood for his taunts. It's evening in New York, the city lights flickering, and I walk fast. My breathing's ragged, like I'm running from a predator. Or maybe I'm the predator, chasing something I can't name. I don't know. I end up at a little park near our apartment, the one with the old wooden benches and a half-broken swing. I see the swing's chain rattling in the wind. The memory of my boy sitting there, me pushing him, hits like a punch. My heart squeezes so hard, I almost double over. I feel the blackness creeping in behind my eyes, like a wave of raw rage. But with it comes a flicker of perverse amusement. Black humor, because it's all so predictable, isn't it? The perfect American family, the cheating wife, the clueless husband. A classic storyline. Except it's happening to me. And I'm no hero. I'm just the guy who foots the bills. My phone vibrates. A text from her. "We need to talk. Please." I toss the phone on the bench beside me. The screen cracks on impact, but I don't care. Let it break. Let everything break. I recall the hotel check in my pocket. My fingertips itch to tear it to shreds, but I resist. I want to keep it, to remind me. A receipt of betrayal. Proof. I don't go home until midnight. I find the apartment empty. Even the dog, our damn golden retriever, who usually greets me with a wagging tail, stays in the corner, half asleep, doesn't even bark. Like he senses my mood. Or maybe he just can't muster the energy to greet a broken man. The next morning, I wake up earlier than usual. I haven't slept well, maybe 2 hours at most. My head throbs. My wife isn't there, obviously. I notice she's texted me again. But I don't bother reading it. I've got to keep moving. If I stop, I'll drown in this. So I throw on a suit, a pressed white shirt. My reflection in the mirror looks grave, but I straighten my tie and head out. I arrive at the office too early. The place is silent, lights still off. I switch them on, drop into my chair. For a moment, I bury my face in my palms. My job is financial consulting. Normally, I thrive on reading trends, analyzing possibilities. But now all I see is that hotel check in my mind. That red dress on the floor. And that bra. Torn, like some cheap symbol of lust. My phone buzzes. Another message from my wife. I force myself to open it. It's just a barrage of half apologies and pleas. "We need to talk. It's complicated. I can explain. Please, John, pick up." I toss the phone aside. My knuckles are white as I grip the edge of the desk. Then I sink back, exhale shakily, and focus on something else. My next client is supposed to arrive by 9. So I prepare. I push the betrayal out of my mind, or try to. God knows it's clinging to me like barbed wire. At 10:30, I finally see her name pop up on the phone again. I let it ring. Then, 10 minutes later, the office secretary calls me. John, your wife is here to see you." I stiffen. My pulse roars in my ears. For a second, I consider letting security handle it. But no, I'm not that petty. I want to see her face, so I tell the secretary, "Fine, let her in." She walks into my office wearing a conservative pencil skirt and a navy blouse, hair pinned back. Her posture is stiff, like she's bracing for a fight. She looks at me with huge wet eyes, as if pity is going to fix us. I feel the fury coil up again. She starts, "John, I hold up a hand. Don't. Just save it. You want to talk. Talk." She looks down, exhales, and steps closer. "It was a mistake," she says, voice trembling. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was lonely. You were so busy, always at work, no time for us. And he listened. Who is he? My voice cracks like a whip. Tell me. She tries to meet my eyes. He's Michael Wallace. He runs a startup. I met him through a marketing event. Right, I say. He invests in illusions. Great. So you had your illusions. Was it worth it? Her eyes flick away. I never wanted to break our family. I was looking for something I couldn't name. Excitement, maybe. It's just, I felt invisible. Anger flares. Invisible. Good. Stay invisible. I stand up, pacing around my desk. You forget we have a son. You forget the life we built. She's trembling. John, I'm sorry. I laugh. A short, hollow bark. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. I glance at her skirt. Tell me, did you wear that red dress for him? The same one I found on our floor. She flushes. A tear slips down her cheek. Yes. And you left it there. You didn't even hide the evidence. I step forward, my voice low. That's what kills me. You weren't careful. It's like you didn't care if I found out. She lifts her hands. I don't know what to say. I let out a breath. Then don't say anything. We're done talking. She looks stunned. I see her lips quiver. She probably wants to make some last plea. But I brush past her. I have work to do. I say, lock the door on your way out. I don't hear her leave. I only hear my own heartbeat hammering in my ears. After a full minute, the door clicks shut. I sink into my chair, shaking. A part of me wants to forgive her. Another part wants to watch her suffer. 3 days pass. She tries to call me. She tries to text. I ignore her. I watch that check from the hotel every night, flipping it over like a talisman of betrayal. I can't stand to read the receipt details. King-size bed. Complimentary champagne. I wonder if they laughed at me, or if they simply never thought about me at all. The indifference is the worst. Not the lie, not even the physical side. It's that sense of being an afterthought. On the third night, I come home early. The plan is to find her still at our place. But no, the apartment's empty. Even the dog has retreated under the table, refusing to greet me. I look around. Some of her stuff is still here, but the suitcases are half-packed. I see an open folder on the kitchen counter. Flight reservations in her name and another. Michael Wallace. A trip to Bermuda, leaving tomorrow morning. Vacation, they call it. I close the folder, my chest tight. Then I make a decision. I call the moving company. 2 trucks, I say. Yes, short notice. Pay whatever the rush fee is. I want them here at dawn. 1 truck for her belongings. Every last item. Clothes, jewelry, shoes, the cheap perfume she left on the vanity. Another truck for me. This place is poison now. It's soaked with her deceit. I want out. Then I call a locksmith. I set up a complete lock change, keypads, security code. Then I call my bank, open a new account in just my name. Finally, I reach out to a lawyer, someone who's handled messy divorces for a few guys in my industry. By 2 a.m., I have the framework of my life rearranged. She won't see it coming. And I'm calm. Dangerously calm. It all goes down so fast. The next morning, she barely has time to register what's happening. She stumbles in, probably expecting to grab her passport, maybe a bikini or 2 for that vacation. Instead, she sees 2 giant moving trucks and a half-dozen men in uniforms packing her things into boxes. She throws her hands up. John, what the hell? I just watch. My voice is steady. You can take it all. Liz, I'm done. She tries to protest, but my new lawyer is there, handing her a neat envelope of papers. You'll find everything in order, he says politely. I suggest you read through with your own counsel. She looks at me, eyes wide with shock. You can't do this. I force a cold smile. I can. You wanted something else. Go have it. She opens her mouth, about to rage, maybe to beg. Then Michael Wallace walks in. I see him step into the hallway, wearing a tailored jacket, a phone in his hand. He looks rattled by the scene, but tries to look confident. "Let's just talk, man," he says, as if we're business partners in a little dispute. I cut him off. "Keep your mouth shut. Or do you want me to throw you out physically?" He tenses. I said let's talk. No need to escalate. I glare at him, remembering every kiss he stole, every mocking moment I've pictured in my head, and I let out a small, humorless laugh. "You're about to find out how I escalate." He frowns, but before he can speak, the movers brush past carrying boxes labeled with her name. She stares at them, then at me, and her eyes fill with tears. "John, we have a child," she pleads. My chest twists. I look away. We'll figure out visitation. But I'm done living like a blind fool under the same roof. Wallace tries again to play the peacemaker. "Look, man, I get it. You're angry. Let's handle this like adults." I watch him carefully. "You handle it your way. I'll handle it mine." And I walk out. Downstairs, the trucks are loading up. The locksmith's already replacing the front door hardware. My wife, ex-wife-to-be, just stands near the entry, trembling, while her lover tries to comfort her. Part of me wants to shout that they deserve each other. Another part is numb. 3 months pass. My new schedule is relentless. I've thrown myself into acquiring a controlling stake in an up-and-coming company. Not just any. Michael Wallace's. He's had financial troubles for a while. His expansions didn't pay off, so he sought external investors. I recognized the pattern. Put the right pawns in place, gained silent backing from bigger fish, and slid in at the final hour. I snatched the majority share from under his nose. The day I walk into that glass-walled conference room, I'm in a black suit, tie pinned precisely. My posture is rigid. Michael Wallace sees me enter and looks like he's swallowing razor blades. He tries to hide it, but the twitch in his jaw gives him away. "Wallace," I say, nodding. I occupy the seat at the head of the table. He forces a tight grin. "Surprised to see you here. So, you're, what, an investor?" I shrug. "Something like that." The board meeting starts. It's short, decisive, maybe an hour at most. By the end, it's confirmed. I am now the director. Wallace stares, speechless, as the official documents slide across the table. "You can't do this," he mutters, echoing the words my wife used months before. I level my gaze at him. It's business. Best for the company, apparently. My tone is all ice. He tries to argue, tries to rally support, but it's useless. I've done my homework. He's out. Fired from his own company. He stumbles out of the office, eyes blazing with desperation. 2 hours later, I step into the elevator. He's waiting in the lobby, trying to corner me. I see him approaching, stammering about how we can make a deal or maybe some arrangement. He's behind on personal loans, used the company as collateral, and now he's in deeper debt than he can handle. I can't resist a quick jab of dark satisfaction. He's living my old nightmare in reverse. Helpless, humiliated. I walk straight past him. He calls after me, but I pretend I can't hear. Outside, the winter wind hits my face, cold and sharp, and for once I welcome it. Word travels fast. Elizabeth hears about it, obviously. She tries calling again. She's drowning in debts too, it seems. Lost her job after a dispute with a client. Freed from illusions, both of them. I answer her call once. She sounds frantic, voice trembling. "How could you do this to him?" she demands, half in tears. I just laugh. A short bark. "Funny question, Liz. How could I do this to him? Maybe ask yourself how he could do that to me. Or how you both did it to me." She tries to retort. This is cruel. I never thought you'd be so cold." I close my eyes, and for a second, I see that red dress on the floor, the hotel check, the broken bra strap. My lips tighten. Yeah, well, I never thought you'd cheat on me, I say, voice calm. Now we both get to be surprised. I hang up. I ignore her next calls. Let her sink. I'm too far gone to care. People think revenge is a burst of savage rage. But it's more like a glacier, silent, unstoppable, cold. And it's changed me, forging me into something unrecognizable. I see my son. Of course I do. I set up a separate apartment, a place for him to have his own room when he stays with me. He's 8, sweet kid, bright eyes. He deserves better than this. Whenever he's with me, I bury the bitterness, try to show him warmth. I can't let him carry my hatred. It's not his fault. He asks about his mother. When's Mom coming over? I pause, feeling that sick churn in my gut. She's busy, buddy. Traveling. But you'll see her next weekend. He nods. Kids sense more than we think, though. He might not know the details, but he knows something big happened. I just hope he doesn't blame himself. Nights, I sometimes stare at the city skyline. I can't sleep much. My new job is thriving, ironically. But inside, I feel a hollowness. The hatred was feeding me, giving me a twisted sense of purpose. Now that I struck back, I'm left in the dark with my own emptiness. One evening, I'm sipping whiskey in my living room, half lost in thought, when my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. I pick it up anyway. Hello. My voice is coarse. It's me, says a voice I know. Michael Wallace. He sounds exhausted, defeated. I'm sorry to bother you. I have nowhere else to turn. I set my glass down, feeling an odd mix of triumph and pity. This is unexpected. He hesitates. I lost everything. My house, my savings. I'm basically homeless. Liz is back with her parents in Oregon. She left me. An ironic grin tugs at my lips. Did she? He sighs. Look, I'm not asking for sympathy. But I need you to understand, I never meant to. He falters, searching for words. It wasn't some grand plan to humiliate you. We got caught in the moment, and I cut him off. Don't feed me excuses, Mike. You made your bed. He exhales. Right. Anyway, I wanted to say I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Silence stretches between us. I think back to that moment in my bathroom, cutting up film strips of our life. My voice, when it comes, is quieter than I expect. You're sorry. Great. So am I. Sorry we ever crossed paths. I hang up. Weeks later, I'm stepping out of my new office building, the doorman tipping his hat to me. My breath puffs in the chilly air. The city's noise hums in the background. A quiet tension in my shoulders reminds me I still haven't fully let go. The aftermath of betrayal lingers like a bruise that won't heal. Sometimes, I recall how it felt before all this. There was a naive version of me, a man who believed in stability, in a faithful wife, in a golden future. That version is gone, torn in half, like those photo strips. I've become colder than I ever imagined. Harder. My sense of humor's twisted, biting. I catch myself making jokes about infidelity or marital bliss, and other people glance away uncomfortably. But it doesn't stop me. This is who I am now. The neighbor sees me sometimes in the hallway, tries to avoid eye contact. Even the dog, when I visit my old place to see if everything's in order, doesn't come wagging anymore. I walk inside that empty apartment for the final time. It's been sold. I'll never sleep here again. A wave of memories tries to crush me. The tears we shared, the nights we laughed, the day I carried my son over the threshold in my arms. Then that final image of the dress on the floor, the bra. The neighbor's sneer. You must be the guy who pays the rent while she sleeps with someone else. I can almost hear it echo off the bare walls. I close my eyes, let out a breath. I leave the keys on the counter, the last traces of my old life. As I step back into the hallway, I realize the dog is gone. She must have taken him already. Part of me feels a small pang, but it's drowned by the numbness. I catch my reflection in the steel elevator doors. A man in a sleek dark coat, eyes that reflect a quiet storm. A stranger, in a way. I press the button for the lobby. A part of me wants to laugh, that dark, hollow laugh, because the real joke is that the worst part of betrayal isn't the sex, or the lies, or even the heartbreak. It's the apathy, the sense that you, your feelings, your life, none of it mattered enough for them to hide it. They just let you find out, in the sloppiest way possible, as if you were invisible. That memory makes my insides burn, but it also feeds a new kind of steel in my spine. When the elevator doors open, I walk out, back straight. I feel the cold air of the lobby, see the swirl of dust motes in the late afternoon sun, and somehow I'm fine with this new version of me. A man forged by betrayal, tempered by revenge. All softness hammered out. Outside, the street is chaotic. Cars honking, people rushing. I step into that chaos with an odd sense of calm. I am alive, and I have no illusions left. For a moment, I think about the line we sometimes whisper about revenge. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But that's not how it went for me. I didn't drink the poison. I brewed it and poured it down their throats. And then I discovered it turned my heart to ice in the process. I close my eyes, letting a slow exhale slip between my lips. The chill on my face is almost comforting. Yes, I'm colder now than I ever thought possible. Harder than her lies. But at least I'm free. And as for them, they're just gone. Ghosts. And the city moves on without them. I picture Liz somewhere in Oregon, probably staying with her parents, drowning in regret, or maybe blaming me for everything. And Mike, rummaging for a new angle, a new hustle, no idea how to rebuild. Let them spin in the wind. I walk on, my footsteps echoing on the pavement, blending into the city's pulse. There's no big speech, no triumphant fanfare, just the quiet knowledge that I survived. And I've become colder than revenge, and a hell of a lot stronger than any lie they tried to sell me. I keep going, one foot in front of the other, until the crowd folds around me, and I vanish into the heart of New York.